to Storytellers. I'm Senior Master Sergeant Marcy Holland. I work over in Tomahawk AMU. Thank you so much for coming out today. We really do appreciate it. First, I would like to introduce the 99th Air Base Wing Commander, Colonel Paul Murray, and we'll go ahead and get started, okay?
Great.
Yes, sir.
So am I speaking? Or
Yes,
no,
sir.
there it is.
We're going to have the chief speak first, and I will give closing comments. But before the chief comes up, I need the, not to be too embarrassed, but I need the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 youngest airmen in the group to come on up.
That would be me start on 12.
There you go. I see some airmen out here. We're going to keep going until we get 88. There you go. Come on.
On behalf of the 99th Air Base Wing, Colonel Paul Murray, please allow me to say welcome to Storytellers. This is the 4th Storytellers event here at Nellis Air Force Base, and each event is uniquely remarkable in the stories that we have, in the tales of triumph, in the tales of overcoming adversity, in just the tales of the human spirit and what our airmen go through. And our airmen, civilian contractors, civilian dependents, active duty, reserve guard, our total force. We lean on each other as wingmen every day, and there's times that we have things that come up in our lives that are trying. And these stories of how we overcome these obstacles in our life and continue on and continue to be great American is really what makes our Air Force great. So without further ado, I'd like to turn it back over to our MC, Senior Master Sergeant Holland. And once again, thank you very much for coming today.
Thank you so much. All right, I would like to introduce our first storyteller. His name is Senior Master Sergeant Michael Culver, and he works at the Community Support Coordinator Office.
All right, thank you. Thank you for coming today. I really appreciate it. Let's get started. So, the year 2014, that's just like 3 years ago. That year really tried to kick my ass, and largely succeeded. We'll start out the beginning of that year. Very early on, I lost my father suddenly, like within 30 days of finding out that he had cancer. I was in Ohio burying him, which was, anytime there's a sudden death, it's just really hard to process and very traumatic. We weren't really all that close, but still just a very hard thing to process. And in the process of that, my mother was suffering from some mild dementia, early on dementia, and the tragicness of that particular event for her really spiraled that dementia into very severe dementia while this situation was going on. So literally the day after I buried my father, I had to move my mother into a dementia home, essentially eliminating both of my parents from my life instantly, something I was not prepared for. She very soon after that didn't remember who I was. Just a very hard process. My mother and I were extremely close. At that time I was going through that, man, my military family was all there for me. The outpouring of support that I got from them was just incredible and overwhelming. I could not have asked for anything more. They really pulled me through that situation. And while that was going on, I thought to myself, I was like, man, you know what, that really sucked, but that's probably the hardest thing I'll ever do in my life. But I was wrong. Later that year, I was teaching an RTA class. We're like right in the middle of it. I'd just become a master resilience trainer earlier that year, and I was super excited. I love resilience, and this is my first chance to teach it to the new resilience training assistants, and I was just all about it. I was so excited. In the middle of this class, I got a phone call. I have a daughter. Her name's Shy. She was in college at the time. She was just starting her sophomore year. My daughter and I are extremely close. I got divorced in 2003 and I got custody of her. And I raised her as a single parent for about 8 years in the Air Force. Single parents out there, they know how incredibly difficult that is. And then you add on the military lifestyle, it's almost impossible. But really made us close. Like she became my best friend. She was really my best friend. As hard as that is for some parents to fathom, it worked for us and it was great. I got this call that she had a panic attack and was in the hospital. I had no idea what that even meant. What's a panic attack? I'm a very positive, optimistic person by nature. I really don't understand what this is, but I tell Miss Lightfoot, I'm like, hey, this is happening, I gotta go. She's like, hey, go, take care of your thing, just let me know, I'll be there for you. It's like, okay, still not really understanding what's happening. I rush home, I grab like a weekend bag, throw a few clothes in there, and I'm taking off to Los Angeles, because that's where she was going to school. In my mind, I'm just going to be there for the weekend because I'm going to fix her. I'm going to fix this situation, going to get her back on track, get her back in school. No problem. She was suffering from a breakup. She had her first real boyfriend at the time in college. They had been together for almost that first year, first love, first real boyfriend, first person that she had sex with. All these things that we're super uncomfortable with as parents, but just, her first everything is so real. All that is so real to them. And they had broken up very recently before that RTA class. And she was having a real hard time dealing with it. I knew that she was because we talked a lot, but I just didn't realize how serious it was. And a lot of that was because I was projecting myself on them. I've had tons of breakups, I've had this, you'll get through it. Fast forward to that day. I rushed to Los Angeles thinking, I'm going to get her back on track, get her back in school, everything's going to be cool. By the time I reach her apartment, she has been released from the hospital and she's sitting on a couch in her apartment and I don't even recognize the person that's sitting there. The stress, anxiety, and panic attacks had taken over her. I took a picture of it as soon as I walked in the door with my phone. I still have it to this day because I don't even recognize the person that's sitting there. She weighed about 60 pounds. She looked, for lack of a better word, like a crazy person. It was just unbelievable what I was looking at. And I remember as soon as I walked in the door, I was like, oh man, this is more serious than what I thought. But I really had no idea. Initially, when I thought that I was only going to be up there for the weekend, I spent 35 days in Los Angeles trying to get my daughter right. I was doing everything I could. I was walking her to class. I was walking her home from class. My goal was to just make sure that I could be there for her until things got better, and then I could leave and she could just continue on with her life because I didn't really understand what was going on with her. After about a week, I realized that, hey, this is more serious than really what I can handle. So I scheduled an appointment with a psychiatrist, and he had diagnosed her with extreme clinical dangerous depression and anxiety and put her on some medications. Again, these are words that I just don't know. Depression, anxiety. I don't understand this. I don't understand what's going on. My daughter, she was very happy, lived a very normal life, very happy. And myself, positive. I have just no idea what's going on with this. But I was there for her. I was going to make it work. The initial meds, they weren't very good. They were the wrong meds, the wrong dosage. This is the first time. When you see your daughter off to college, you think of a lot of things like, hey, I hope she eats, I hope she makes friends, I hope she does her homework, I hope she doesn't get pregnant. Right? But the one thing that you don't think about is my daughter going to try to take her life? It's just never crossed my mind. The medication was not right, and this was the first time that my daughter expressed to me that she was having thoughts of killing herself. And I didn't know how to process it. They were so bad and so strong that literally I was holding her at night because she wanted to get out of bed and end her life because the pain was so intense. And I didn't know what to do. I contacted a psychiatrist after 2 or 3 days and I'm like, hey, something's not right. So we put her on some different meds and things looked like they were moving in the right direction. Or so I thought. We had another activating event later where she started a job and her ex-boyfriend happened to show up and they got into a big argument. She had a real bad panic attack and I brought her upstairs and I was trying to help her through it. I specifically remember we were watching a movie on the iPad, we were laughing together, we were crushing a bag of Doritos, you know, like everything was cool. She was laughing, everything was awesome. She looked at me at the end of the movie and she's like, Dad, I gotta go to the bathroom. I was like, okay. Sitting there on the couch, man, this is taking a long time. I get a Facebook notification, ding, it's a suicide note from my daughter. Dad, I'm so sorry. I don't want to end my life, but the pain is too intense. And this is the only way out that I can think of. I freak out, jump up, beat in the bathroom door, and there she is laying on the floor unconscious. She had overdosed on pills. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do. All I've ever seen is anything like this on TV. I go to call 911, I'm picking her up, I'm slapping her in the face, like I'm shaking her, like I'm just trying to get her to wake up. Sticking my fingers down her throat, trying to make her throw. I don't know what to do. This is the person I care and love the most in the entire world. She might die right in front of me. I call 911 because that's what I see people do on TV. And to make matters worse, I look at my phone and there's like 3%. It's in the red, right? Of course it is. Of course it is. My battery's like at 3%. And that's what I'm thinking, like, oh, am I going to be able to talk to 911 long enough? Am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to be able to do that? All these things are running through my head. I was so hysterical that even in this moment, I can still find a little bit of humor and clarity because I specifically remember the 911 operator screaming at me on the phone. Ma'am, we need you to calm down. Ma'am, I need for you to calm down. And I'm like, whoa. Like, so, you know, that was like, oh my God, okay. So the paramedics get there, and, you know, they're assuring me that she's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. We go to the hospital. She sleeps for 17 hours. She was okay. But for those of you who are not aware, for someone in California and other places, if somebody tries to take their own life, they have to go under 72-hour observation in a state medical hospital. This was a whole nother story for us. I thought that it was just going to be 72 hours, but once she was in there, I had no contact with her. She was just barely 19 years old, but she was an adult. I couldn't get information about her. I could only see her once for 30 minutes every day is when I could see her or talk to her. It was incredibly frustrating. She was in there with adults, homeless people. There was a person that she shared a room with that walked around on all fours, that barked like a dog. She told me there was a girl in there that shouted numbers in the middle of the night and told her that people were telling her to kill everyone in the room at night. And my daughter was already thinking that she was crazy, and now it was being confirmed that she was crazy with her environment. So I was trying anything to get her out of there. Anything. It was a real tough time for me. I thought it was just going to be 72 hours, but the more research I'd done, and I couldn't get anyone at the hospital to talk to me, the more research I did, it said there was a lot of people that had been in there, and they're like, if you have good insurance, your kid is going to be in there for as long as your insurance will allow it. And I couldn't handle it. So I was desperate. I will say during this time, I have to give special thanks to Chief Master Sergeant Michael Morris, who was the comm chief at the time. That dude called me every single day that I was up there in LA. Probably saved my life. Not even probably, because I was in such a bad place. Living on vodka and cigarettes. I just didn't know what to do. And so I was just reacting in any way I could. I felt like a failure as a parent. Everything around me, everything I loved was just ending. Luckily, her psychiatrist was able to release her after 10 days being in the mental asylum. I remember specifically when the psychiatrist called and he told me that I could go get her. I had heard the term ugly cry before, but I had never actually experienced it. I couldn't even thank him on the phone. The phone just dropped and I cried like I'd never cried before in my life because I was so thankful that this was going to be over for her. I went and got her, and obviously the LA experiment was temporarily over. I brought her home, we got her some consistent therapy, got her on the right meds, and things turned around and I was able to get her back in school in about late October. So how has this moment affected both of our lives? For Shy, I would like to say it's a happy ending, but it's never really over with people that struggle with mental health issues. She graduated with her bachelor's degree in musical theater last year. Incredibly proud of her. Yes. An amazing accomplishment, especially with the things that she deals with every single day. She scored an agent right out of school. She's been in a Samsung commercial. Just a couple weekends ago, she filmed a TV pilot. Things are looking really good. But with mental health, it's always a give and take. There's always a give and take. Even the day after that she found out she was going to film a TV pilot, she tweeted. She was home from work and she was tweeting, "I just want to run my car into a tree, but I can't afford to have another failed suicide attempt." There's just always give and take. You just try to do your best. For me, I've been permanently changed from that incident, even more so than maybe I could have realized. That traumatic event, I believe that I suffer from some iteration of PTSD. There's things that I can't do now that I used to be able to do. I used to be a national anthem singer on the bass, pretty esteemed, not to humble brag. But I opened up one of the basketball Olympic Games down at the Thompson Mack Center, broadcast on ESPN worldwide. The reason I say it is because it was no problem. I mean, I walked out there, honor guard parts, I walked out, crow it, drop the mic, and I'm like, all right, Kevin Durant, we're cool. That's what my life used to be. But now it's different. I don't do it anymore because I have so much anxiety. There's anxiety inside of me that I didn't even know what that was 3 years ago, that I get really worked up. I basically spend every day of my life preparing myself to hear that my daughter has died. And that's not healthy. It's not healthy. Because I'm so scared. If we get into an argument, I always wonder if it's the last one that we're ever going to get into. There's a lot of pressure. Like I said before, my daughter, she used to be my best friend. I miss that best friend. I miss her. Because now there's no time for that. I fulfill so many roles. I'm her parent, I'm her therapist, I'm her manager. I'm doing all of these things that there's not enough time to be best friend anymore. I will say that my military family was also there for me through this particular incident, but it was in a completely different way. A lot of people didn't know what to say. I got a lot of really bad advice during that time. A lot of parenting advice that was unsolicited and really uncalled for. And at the moment, I was kind of angry. But as I now have time to step back, man, these people were just offering their support in the only way they know how. When you lose a parent, it's easy. It's not easy to lose that parent, but it's something we can all relate to. And it's easy to say, hey, I am so sorry for your loss. Probably somebody has lost a parent. We can give you a card. We can give you some flowers. But when your daughter tries to commit suicide, what do you say? What do you say to that person? What I found out is a lot of crazy things. But so, it's just, if people are reaching out to you and you're struggling, just try in the moment, try not to get mad at that. They really don't know any better. They're reaching out to you and they're doing the best that they can to try to help you in that situation. I've asked for help when I need it. I'm lucky enough to work in the community support office now, Miss Lightfoot. My amazing cadre of MRTs that I have on the base, they get me through the day more than they could ever know. Like, they're incredible. And I talk. There is not a thought in my mind that doesn't get verbalized, for good or bad. And that really helps me so that I'm not pushing all that thing in. I will say, as while we're on the terms of humble brag, my resilience skills. I'll tell you what. I was mad at resilience at first because it did not save my daughter, and I thought it was going to. But I didn't realize that it was saving me at the time. Those skills saved me, and they gave me the power to get through the things that I needed to get through. Just incredible. This story is ongoing as I wrap it up. I just never know. Like I said, every day is a new day. Every time I sit in a suicide briefing and I see the statistics, it's impossible for me not to see my daughter. Even though we're winning, I see, what are the statistics of somebody that has tried to commit suicide before, and then they try again? What are the statistics of somebody with all her mental health issues that commits suicide? It's like a constant reminder of what the future could possibly hold for me. Every time there's a celebrity suicide death, it is a constant reminder of, is this ever going to be over for us? Like, 30, 40, 50 years old, am I going to get that notification that this is what's going to happen? I try not to focus on that stuff, as hard as it is, because that's about me. Right now, everything is about her. Every day that my daughter chooses to wake up and fight another day, we win. It is a success. And I will never give up on her, no matter how frustrating it gets, no matter how many roles I have to serve. If she can be strong enough for herself, I will be strong enough for the two of us, as long as it takes, until she can get the help that she needs to start getting on the right track. And I just want to end with this particular thing. We don't know how lucky we have it, and I know that's not a very effective way to try to motivate somebody, but if I need to go talk to mental health, I can go right now, and they'll help me out. They will help me with whatever I'm going through. That is a luxury that I never knew how amazing it is. Because my daughter, if she is struggling with something in Los Angeles right now, I don't know, maybe they'll take insurance, maybe they won't. If they do take insurance, sure, psychiatrist, I can fit you in 3 months from now. Is that going to be okay? No, that's not okay. It's easy. If we have a broken arm, it's so easy to treat because we can see it. But when people are broken on the inside, we don't know. We don't know how to treat that. And it's really difficult. If you're struggling, please use your support system and get the help that you need. You cannot do it alone. And even if you think you can, it's so much easier not to. If you know somebody that's struggling, don't ever give up. Do not ever give up. You're going to want to, and it's going to be seriously frustrating. But it'll be worth it. You were there for them, and they will never forget it. And I appreciate everyone that's been here for me, and thank you for listening to my story today.
Sergeant Culver, thank you so much for your story. We're good friends, and I've never even heard that story. I mean, I know a lot of the things that he's had to deal with, but in that way, I'm moved. So thank you. Our second storyteller. Are you all ready? You guys need some Kleenex? Oh my goodness. Our next storyteller is from the 799th Air Base Wing, and it's Sergeant Harris Lazalio.
Quick, sorry. Sorry, that was super disgusting. I got tissues for all my friends. For me. Yeah. All right, so to make sense of the ending of my story, I have to go all the way to the beginning. My mother and my father were high school sweethearts. And upon graduation, my mother was going to go to college in California, and my father already had signed a contract with the Army. So shortly after graduation, they went on their senior trip, and I was conceived. Ultimately keeping them together, which gave me the name Paris, because that's where I was conceived. I know. So, my mother ended up staying in Hawaii, and my father actually went to the military. I don't really know if he's seen a wartime situation or if he went through a traumatic event, but he did come back early. So 2 years passed, he came back, and my sister was conceived. She had a Hawaiian name because she was conceived in Hawaii. So we're about 3 years apart. When my father came back, he also developed a drug addiction. It was really hard for our family because he couldn't hold down one job, my mother held on 3. And with my dad, I have the most amazing memories of him, and then I have the worst memories of him. I remember he would give the best hugs, and he taught me how to surf. I remember pretending like my arms were tired at night, so he would floss my teeth. And on the bad side, he was always tired. He was missing for 2 to 3 days at a time. And when he would come home, he would rip the phone cord. Telephones were plugged into the walls before. So he would rip the phone cord out of the wall. He would wrap it around my mother's neck He would drag her upstairs and he would beat her. He would beat her until he found money, or he would beat her until she gave him money. My earliest memory of this, I was 5 years old. This didn't end until I was 8. So like clockwork, I would pick up my sister, I would walk to my neighbor's house, and sorry, my friends are crying. I would walk over to the neighbor's house, and I would beg them to call the police. That's all I knew. That's all I knew what to do. I couldn't stop him. When I was 8, my mother decided that she would no longer put up with this. She was a child of divorce. So leaving was never an option. But she knew that if she did not leave, she would end up dead. And we'd be left with a parent who was addicted to drugs, who's unpredictable. And who knows where my future would have been. Once we left, he got clean for a little while. My father would always beg my mother to keep us or have us back. We missed our family together. But she wasn't having it. So she decided, okay, I'll let you have overnights with the children. But she would only do it during the weekdays because subconsciously for her, she thought to herself, if he can wake up and take it to school, he will stay off drugs. And it worked for a little while. One morning we woke up and I remember running downstairs and there was this Thanksgiving buffet of breakfast food. And looking back now, it's a red flag. However, when you're 8 years old, you're like pancakes and waffles. She knows. So it's amazing, so the day went as normal as possible. My father dropped us off at school. The day doesn't really stand out to me because nothing specific happened. But after school, when we were waiting for my father to pick us up, he didn't show. And I just sat there and I thought to myself, this is the day that he forgets us because he's out getting high. So up pulls our neighbor. And she asks us, do you need us to take you home? And I was like, yeah, sure. That would be amazing. It was the 80s, like we knew her, so we just jumped in the car. I'm not trying to get awkward. It's like, I don't know, so I just tell jokes, so like, it's funny, laugh. So we get to the house, we make plans with her daughters, and to meet at the jungle gyms in 2 hours, after we do our chores, after we do our homework. So I take my sister's hand and I unlock the front door. We walk in and my father is hanging from our living room ceiling. I still feel bad to this day because I wasn't sad, I was relieved. I thought to myself, like, this nightmare is over, my mom won't have to get beat up again. I won't be that kid in the neighborhood with cops always at his house at night. So like clockwork, I picked up my sister, I took her to the neighbor's house and I asked them to call the police. When we were waiting in the front lawn, I remember looking at my sister and thinking to myself, I'm no longer 8, I'm 18. I'm no longer a brother, I'm now a guardian. And I promised her, mentally I promised her that I would never let anything happen to her, and I'll protect her. Shortly after the funeral happened, my mother asked my grandparents on my father's side to take us to the next school year. She knew that she couldn't possibly manage the finances, getting us a new house, getting the life back together, and take care of us with her emotions all at the same time. So they agreed. Excuse me. Who also lived with my grandparents was my father's sister, my aunt, and her boyfriend. Shortly after the school year started, I started to get molested by him. My parents, or any adult, never had that conversation with us that if you get touched by an adult, it's wrong. So I knew something wasn't right, but I didn't know it was wrong. And when you're 8 years old and you hear things like, no, this is what happens when you're the favorite. Or if you say anything, your mother will never let you see your grandparents. Like my grandparents, still to this day, are like the epitome of safe to me. My grandmother had this long black hair and she always smelled like gardenias and always had candy in her purse. And my grandfather was so goofy, but everybody in the town was scared of him. So I was like, what? This guy? So I was like, I never want to see, never not see them again. So this happened for the next 4 years. Backtrack to that first year that we were living with our grandparents. It was around Christmas time, and it was time for me and my sister to take a bath. I remember running the water, and she wouldn't get undressed, and I was so irritated. And I was turning around to her, and she couldn't get her clothes off. So I helped her out her clothes, and I realized she can't get her underwear off. Her underwear was stuck to her body because she was bleeding. And she was only 5 years old. And I just dropped to my knees and I just hugged her and I said, I'm so sorry. It wasn't there. And you didn't protect her. I failed. And I told her that it would never happen again. Verbally this time. After that school year ended, we did move back with my mother. Shortly after that, she met my stepfather. But every morning that we lived in that house, that I found out she was also getting molested. And every morning we were visiting our grandparents that we were in that house. After that event, I would wake up so early. I would pick her up and take her to the living room. And I would tell her, don't move. Because somebody was watching the news. Somebody was drinking coffee. And I would take the rest of the abuse for the next 4 years. My sister kept a journal of every time this happened. She also kept a journal from when the first time it happened to her. My mother would end up finding this journal hidden in a stuffed animal. And I just remember coming home from school and she just was asking us so much questions. When did it start? Where did it happen? How many times? And it was just so much questions, I couldn't process it. I just remember my stepfather coming home. All of his friends came over, they left the house, and we've never seen him again. So after that moment, everything was a normal childhood, per se, but I had a normal adolescent behaviors. I had a messy high school years. I did everything, I did anything. I had a bucket list mentality because I didn't feel like I had to protect her. So when I came across the ASVAB and taking it, I did, and I got called by the Air Force. And I thought to myself, this is a chance for me to get away from being a protector. This is a chance for me to get away from taking care of my sister and actually doing something on my own. And he's listing off all the opportunities and all the benefits, and I'm like, school, great, travel, awesome, job, perfect. And so I joined. 2005, I would go on my first convoy deployment. First of 4 convoy deployments to Iraq. And I remember, I think we had about 2 months left. It was Easter 2006. And we were going on a little mini convoy, just 3 hours from Bayat to Sanya. Roads were black all night. And at the last minute, we got roads green. We were the first convoy with a trip ticket, so we were the first convoy to be let out. And we were also the only convoy to be let out. So we get on XR Tampa, we're just cruising along. Me and my driver, I'm just asking him, like, what's your favorite movie? I mean, there's really nothing to talk about except your favorite movie over and over and over again. And as soon as he starts to answer, boom, a roadside bomb goes off on my truck. It was a 32nd vehicle in a 42 vehicle convoy. So I was shocked. And I thought to myself, first instinct, I cannot die here. I will not die here on Easter. I have to call my sister. That was my first instinct, was to call her, because it was Easter in Hawaii in a couple hours. Once we got out of the chill zone, I made sure to call every single truck. I made sure everybody was green, they had all their equipment, let's keep moving. Once I knew everybody was fine, I cried for 2.5 hours until we got to the base. Once we marched into the lanes, I had my whole convoy team around me, and they were just hugging me. Every single person was like, as long as you're okay. What I didn't realize is that when you're in a convoy situation with 16 men and/or women, this becomes your family for 9 months. So for me, I had 16 new sisters. And that's all it was. I mean, like, everybody that I come across, like, I don't know it at the time, but we become close and I get to know you, or we work with each other, like, you become my sister, and all I want to do is protect you. So I joined the military to get away from that situation, but that's all I knew. So at the end of the day, I'm thankful. I'm not a statistic. I'm not in jail. I'm not on drugs. I don't hurt people on purpose. And it's good. I have a partner. We're in an amazing relationship. We have the house, the cars, the 2 kids, two furry kids. But before I wrap it up, I just want to say the resiliency, like, I want to say thank you to Ms. Lightfoot. This resiliency program, like, don't sleep on it. I've been at MRT for half a year now, I think, and I started off as an RT a year ago. And it's literally taught me, like, about myself, how to react to certain things, how to breathe, take a beat, like Sergeant Mullen says. And working with you and Senior Culver, Senior Mullen, thank you so much. And the supervisors, if you see any of your troops sign up for this courses or taking any resiliency course, encourage it, ask them questions about it, talk to them about it. Like, it's an amazing, amazing program. But that's my story. Thank you so much for listening, and I assure you that I would not be here today if it wasn't for my sister. Thanks.
Thank you, Sergeant Zaria. Oh my. Very inspirational. You all ready for the third storyteller? But so inspiring, right? Oh, my goodness. All right, so our third storyteller is going to be Tech Sergeant James McCallum, and he's from the 78th Attack Squadron. McEwen.
All right. Wow. Pretty full crowd. Those are some amazing stories, right? Stories of resiliency, triumph. Hey guys, come have a seat. So, how do you bounce back, right? There was a textbook answer for bounce back. I think I can tell you a little bit of bouncing story of bouncing back. Always land on your feet, right? Bouncing back. So, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit a very important day in history to me. Kind of changed the way I saw the world, changed the way I do things, literally had to change the way I was used to doing everything in order to keep going on. So first off, how many people in here got some adrenaline junkies? Rock climbing? Hands? Show hands. What about bungee jumping? Oh, you're like, I couldn't do that, sorry. Like, you fall off the rock face, you fall from bungee jumping, cord snap, you fall, you break a leg, both legs. your spine, I don't know, something. It's gonna be a lifelong recovery journey, so that's what kept me from ever doing it, right? But skydiving seems like, got some skydivers? Come on. We talk about it all day, but you can never fully experience that emotion unless you go. You let go of everything, right? You're at the will of the ground, sky falling, controlled sky falling, right? So I thought to myself, yeah, if I'm gonna choose one of these adrenaline activities, bungee jumping, getting hurt, lifelong journey to recovery, or skydiving, hey, something goes wrong with skydiving, it's ooh. That's it, right? No pain, no gain. Alright, so I ate my own words, right? And putting that lightly, and some dirt and trees and other stuff one day. So September 2nd, right? 2009, at about 2:30 in the afternoon, I completed my 4th jump that day. Starting out, buddy hits me up first thing in the morning. Hey dude, let's go ride our motorcycles and go skydiving. I was like, heck yeah, we both got our licenses. It's a great day. It's probably doing nothing that day anyways. Why not? Cool. So we get up there, jump out of the plane, have fun, hang off the side, do some tricks, this and that. And I'm under canopy, I'm free falling, and I hear, I look up, my chute's expanding, and I landed. I was like, oh man, my parachute ripped. You see that? I was like, yeah, dude, that's freaking crazy. Wow, what? And I was like, oh, first thought, should have been, you guys probably have a better one than what I did, right? I'll let you keep it. My first thought was, I need to get another chute so I can jump again. Cool. So I did it, right? Hey, my parachute ripped. Can I borrow another one? Yeah, there you go. How do you do that? I don't know. So, cool. So second jump. Things are going good. We do some fun, goofy stuff. Kick off each other's feet, flips, all the fun stuff you see in the movies. Awesome. Want to go again? Yeah. And at this point, most people, first or second jump, you get rid of your adrenaline, your knees are shaky, you're hungry, you're fatigued, you're tired, right? I was thinking, yeah, third jump, cool. Let's do it. So third jump. I think we ran out of that one. I don't know, something goofy, stupid again, fun. Flying down the runway, having fun stuff, acting like we're Superman. And awesome. Land that one, everything's fun. Pilot says, hey guys, know you're about to leave, but I got some more fuel left in this plane. If you want, I'll take you guys up for free. Jump out, I'll fly out, land it, it's getting fixed. And we're like, heck yeah, free flight. $20 we could save. If you knew then, right? So, 4th jump of the day. Free $20. Wow, I never realized that. So, cool. 4th jump of that day. I jump out of the plane, we're doing things again, like I said, having fun, and some guy flies past me going, and I was like, yeah, you too, dude. Why that guy almost hit me? And I thought back to training. If you see this, if you see a finger, that means pull your chute, right? No matter what. Not, you're doing awesome. You look great. Thank you very much. So, I'm still at 8,000 feet. I'm not going to pull my parachute until I get to about 2,000 before I'm under canopy. I thought, why would you tell me to pull my chute? What an idiot. I got a free ride out of this. And I thought, what if something's wrong? What if something's going on I can't see? Right? Okay, cool. Whatever, it's a free ride. I just pulled my chute. Nothing happened. Okay? And I kind of got yanked back a little bit. Maybe about a shoe size of the parachute opened up. Nice and tangled and wrapped up, right? All bound. It started to do one of those things. This is the canopy, and here's my body. It started doing this. Right? Kind of like a flat spin in it, air flat spins from there. Kind of like that. So one of those things you can't really recover from as a human, especially because all the blood's going from your head to your feet to begin with. My extremities, I couldn't lift my arms, I remember that. It's the whole way, cut and shoot. So all I could think about was, I'm getting really, really tired, I'm already fatigued. The only thing I could do is try to climb up my harness, pull my reserve chute, right? So I did. I managed to get up there, this little metal clip, right? Grabbed it with both freaking thumbs and just yanked really hard. And it was enough time to see the ground and switch to my feet. The canopy didn't even open, it just kind of sprung back, spring loaded down, right? First thought was, please get knocked down. Don't be awake for this, right? I didn't. I lived through the whole thing. Every bounce back activity type deal, right? So, first thing to hit was my feet. I don't know, tumbled a few times, kissed the dirt with my forehead, kicked the back of my head, learned how to do yoga scorpion move early on. I ended up compressing my spine, tearing some ab muscles, I found out later. One more front flip, landed my heels into the ground, and then I kissed my feet because at this point, I'd stretched, I was flexible. So, right foot's up. I remember all of it, eating dirt, knocking the wind out of me, all that fun stuff. I laid on my back and just went, seriously? Tangled up and blah, blah. And I was like, okay, cool. Trying to remember, am I okay? Is my adrenaline going? Am I in shock? So I wiggled my toes, hips, back, neck, fingers. I was like, everything feels okay. I should be all right. So I stand up. I immediately get up and I'm trying to kill all this off of me. And I just see people running at me saying, lay down, lay down. And it didn't kick in at first. I was like, oh, I must have a tree sticking out of me. Maybe I landed in a boat. That's what's going on. So I looked down. I've got blood all over my hands. And I've got blood all on my feet and everything. And I just, okay, I'm gonna lay down. So I waited till they got there. They unzipped my flight suit. Took a look at my upper extremities. It was road rash, hands were torn up, all that. But it doesn't look like any internal bleeding or anything. I was like, thanks, my webmd.com at the time. So, all right, you look pretty good. All right, cool. So I got it tied around my waist, and I'm walking back, and I'm like, oh man, I hurt my ankle a little bit. That's it. Dude, that was so gnarly. Wish we got it on film. Darwin Award, blah, blah, blah. I was like, did you? No. Okay, well, thanks for not doing that. But so we get back to the hangar, and the guy's like, hey man, here's some Motrin. Here's 800 milligrams will help with the inflammation. WebMD.com at your service. So I take it, and he's like, hey man, if you want, I can ride a motorcycle to your house. You can take the car. That was a pretty gnarly wipeout, all that stuff. But this is just a joke smoke. This isn't an instructor. This is just a bunch of people jumping. So, okay, cool. I'm good, dude. I'll take the bike. I'm walking. It's all right. Right on. All right, whatever. Okay. So I'm riding the motorcycle home. Say goodbye to my buddy on the highway. And I thought back to a time where actually a personal friend of mine had proposed to a girl. They went skydiving to celebrate. She broke her leg upon landing, tandem jump. She died that night in her sleep from a pulmonary embolism, embolism, right? Lung thing. I was like, that started going through my head. What if? What if a blood clot? What if? All right, I don't feel that bad, but just what if? I'm glad I what if. Because I get to the hospital, I'm in the ER parking lot, put the bike down on the kickstand. This is all highway, I didn't have to stand up once. I go to stand up, I thought, oh wow, rocks got in both my feet, or shoes. Real quick, the shoes I was wearing were Chuck Taylor's long laces. I had seen them while flipping, and then when the guy did that, he had seen one of my control toggles come out, so he knew something was gonna go wrong. I was wrapping myself up in it the whole time I was flipping, so that's why the shoe didn't open. We found out later. So I thought, oh, rocks got in my shoes. My Chuck Taylor's, I was wearing loose. They're my skydiving shoes. And I thought, actually, that feels like broken glass. Why would this hurt so bad? It did hit my feet a little bit, ankle. So I call the hospital, the ER, and I go, hey guys, am I here in the parking lot? I think I broke my leg or something, my feet. I can't walk right now. Like, how'd you get here? On a motorcycle? You rode a motorcycle here with broken... Is this a joke? Well, no, I got into the skydiving accident. They're like, hold on. Yeah, it's true. My shoe didn't open up. I tumbled through the dirt. And I took some Motrin. It really, really hurts to put my feet down. So they're like, all right, stay right there. Does your neck hurt? Everything? I was like, yeah, everything's starting to hurt. Cool. So they bring the stretcher out. They put me on a stretcher. And got some medical folks in here. Not to die me out, but when somebody's got a traumatic injury, what's the first thing they like to do to you in the hospital? Or is it, no, they like to take your clothes off. They want to exploit you, right? Well, because you're clearly in shock. If you're going to ride a motorcycle after skydiving accident, say I'm fine. I have some Motrin, webmd.com up there, help me out. So, cool. As they're cutting through my jeans, one place we didn't look. I can see the fibula, the bottom portion of my shin, poking through, nice and cherry red. And I thought, that was why it hurt, right? That's why my ankle hurt. Stability, right? Cool, so I wake up, I've got a morphine drip thing hooked up to me, all that fun stuff. Some lady's got a Brillo pad looking thing scrubbing out the road rash, and someone's stitching up my hands, this and that. And I was just like, oh, whoa, and I looked down, my left leg is splinted, not the right. I thought, okay, excuse me, I know I was like in shock when I came in here, and I'm really high right now, but wasn't it this one? And they're like, no, it's just a scab, it's part of a road rash and everything. I said, okay, cool. And it's swollen at this point, so yeah, look, okay, cool. What libraries to let? Found that out later, but their x-ray machine was down. Didn't work. MRIs, booked up past, I don't know, 3 in the morning. They were gonna send you home with some, I don't know, Percocets, take a couple of these, let us know how you feel in the morning. It crushes, that was cool. But which leg do you choose to walk on? I don't know. The one that has the splint, I obviously lifted, not the one right on it. Cool. It's like, my ankle really hurts now. And my feet. Okay. Very next day, September 3rd, I wake up. I'm just laying there going, something is not right. Like my legs just are not working. Okay? It would be, at that point, September 3rd, 10 months that I spent in a wheelchair, not able to walk, and almost 2 full years before I was able to walk, just normal, like down a hallway without a brace or anything. I didn't know that. I thought it was just some, and why, right? So I went to a different hospital on September 3rd, called and asked if their MRI machine was working, x-ray, like, yeah, we're good to go. Sweet. I think there's something a little more wrong than, cool. 23 fractured bones, sent home, walked on, right? That's why they call it practicing medicine. He walked in here on his own. Awesome. Whoever with x-ray vision clearly was on. Everything all right? We always have somebody get him some water, he or she. Yeah, you turn on the lights. It's usually a faint, just lift their legs, lay them on their back, keep them relaxed.
The bottom ones. Thank you. Oh my. Is everyone back? Thank you so much. We do apologize, obviously, unforeseen events, but thank you very much. Luke, from the 58th, we hope to, if he gets better, he unfortunately did fall, and they're going to take care of him, so let's hope that he's all right. But we're going to continue on with text our McEwen. I'm sorry.
Just text her, good, how you doing? How you doing? If you can get to that. Is it loud?
Gotcha.
I'm just so you guys can hear me, right? Alright, so something bouncing off, seeing some broken bones, 23 broken bones, wouldn't walk for 2 years, right? Recap, skydiving, shooting open, all that. If anybody else feels queasy or uneasy, please say something before you feel too uneasy. Like, well, I don't feel good. Just grab a wingman, head out, grab a drink. Please. So, almost 2 years before I'd walk again, right? How? So, okay. Went to a different ER on the 3rd. Got fitted with some Gucci leg casts and some freaking wheelchair with bling bling and spinners, and I can do wheelies in wheelchair all day. Go through aisles, spin. You learn to balance, and that's your own mode of transportation. But I didn't like it, I just turned 24, and all of a sudden I was told, this will be your life. You will always have a handicap. You'll never walk again without assistance, whether it be in the form of a cane, crutch, brace, physical therapy. You're always going to have a handicap. You're never going to live and have a normal life again. So, did the therapy, did the meds, all of it, 10 months, still sitting there, doing wheelies through the aisles. Wasn't fun, right? I said I give up, I'm done. Done with this treatment, it's not working, it's not progressing, and it wasn't. Found out I didn't have to. Thought I could get down in the military, med board and all that. Maybe, but I don't have to go. Okay, cool. So I did it. Then I was sitting there one day on the couch, I don't know, halfway through a bag of ho-hos and wham-whams or something. I just lost it, right? I lost the will to go on. Not suicidal, but I didn't have anything else to look forward to because of what I used to do. All the adrenaline stuff, the simple things, buying groceries, whatever. Meeting up with friends, anything. And a friend came over one day with pizza. I was like, good choice, right? Way to my heart. So, pizza time. Well, he says to me, dude, you're not the same person. I was like, you think? But just you were always the brightest in the room. It could have been the worst of days, and you're making light of the situation and always smiling. Like, come on, you can do something with this. I'm gonna chop off and get you some robot legs and all that. I was like, robot legs would be great. It's a good idea, but they're not gonna let me have them yet. All right. So he says, what would you do again? Like it's been a while. You haven't been able to do your thing. What would happen if you were able to walk again, or this never happened? I said, I do all these fun things. I get back into this. I've always wanted to try this. I, me, right? It's all about me. And he said it to me, and that changed. This next question, two-parter, changed everything. He said, well, what do you think it would do, or what would you do for other people if you could walk again normally? What would you do if you could get out of the house and live a normal life? And what would that do for them to see that you were able to do that? So before, that's above my pay grade. Don't have that answer for you. But, wow, I was always thinking, poor me, poor this, blah, blah. So there's a book I want you to check out. It's called The Secret. I was like, I have to read a whole book to figure out, and it was in, the murderer was. And it's not that kind of book, right? So The Secret, for those who are familiar, is a movie and a book. It's about the power of attraction, right? Positive thoughts will yield positive results, right? The universe unfolds itself, somehow it happens. So I said to myself, okay, Gandhi, let's do this. What else am I gonna do? Cool. So I wrote these little daily quotes on my mirror. You will walk again. It's a pretty simple goal. All right? And then you will walk again without assistance. Cool. So I started walking, my casts turned into braces and arm crutches and therapies and hip bits and IT bands and surgeries and okay. And
Oh my. Is everyone back? Thank you so much. We do apologize, obviously, unforeseen events, but thank you very much. Luke, from the 58th, we hope to, if he gets better, he unfortunately did fall, and you're going to take care of him, so let's hope that he's all right. But we're going to go ahead and continue on with text our McEwen. I'm sorry.
just text her, good, how you doing? How you running? Is it loud?
Gotcha.
I'm just saying, so yes and here, right? Alright, so something, bouncing off, seeing some broken bones, 23 broken bones, wouldn't walk for 2 years, right? Recap, skydiving, shooting it open, all that. If anybody else feels queasy or uneasy, please say something before you feel too uneasy. Like, well, I don't feel good. Just grab a wing and head out, grab a drink. Please. So, almost 2 years before I walk again, right? How? So, okay. Went to a different ER on the 3rd. Got fitted with some Gucci leg casts and some freaking wheelchair with bling bling and spinners, and I can do wheelies in wheelchair all day. Go through aisles, spin. You learn to balance, and that's your own mode of transportation. But I didn't like it, I just turned 24, and all of a sudden I was told, this will be your life. You will always have a handicap. You'll never walk again without assistance, whether it be in the form of a cane, crutch, brace, physical therapy. You're always going to have a handicap. You're never going to live and have a normal life again. So, did the therapy, did the meds, all of it, 10 months, still sitting there, doing wheelies through the aisles. It wasn't fun, right? I said I give up, I'm done. Done with this treatment, it's not working, it's not progressing, and it wasn't. Found out I didn't have to. Thought I could get down in the military, med board and all that. Maybe, but I don't have to go. Okay, cool. So I did it. Then I was sitting there one day on the couch, I don't know, halfway into a bag of ho-hos and wham or something. I just lost it, right? I lost the will to go on. Not suicidal, but I didn't have anything else to look forward to because of what I used to do. All the adrenaline stuff, the simple things, buying groceries, whatever. Meeting up with friends, anything. And a friend came over one day with pizza. I was like, good choice, right? Way to my heart. So, pizza time. Well, he says to me, dude, you're not the same person. I was like, you think? But just you were always the brightest in the room. It could have been the worst of days, and you're making light of the situation and always smiling. Like, come on, you can do something with this, and get them chopped off and get you some robot legs and all that. I was like, robot legs would be great, it's a good idea, but they're not gonna let me have them yet. Alright, so he says, what would you do again? You know, like, it's been a while, you haven't been able to do your thing, what would happen if you were able to walk again, or this never happened? I said, I do all these fun things, I get back into this, I've always wanted to try this, I, me, right? It's all about me. And he said to me, and that changed, this next question, two-parter, changed everything. He said, well, what do you think it would do, or what would you do for other people if you could walk again normally? What would you do if you could get out of the house and live a normal life? And what would that do for them to see that you were able to do that? So before, that's above my pay grade. Don't have that answer for you. But, wow, I was always thinking, poor me, poor this, blah, blah. So there's a book I want you to check out. It's called The Secret. I was like, I have to read a whole book to figure out, and it was in, the murderer was. And it's not that kind of book, right? So The Secret, for those who are familiar, is a movie and book. It's about the power of attraction, right? Positive thoughts will yield positive results, right? The universe unfolds itself, somehow it happens. So I said to myself, okay, you know, Gandhi, let's do this. What else am I gonna do? Cool. So I wrote these little daily quotes on my mirror. You know, you will walk again. It's a pretty simple goal. All right, and then you will walk again without assistance. Cool. So I started walking. My casts turned into braces and arm crutches and therapies and hip vids and IT bands and surgeries and okay. And then eventually it turned into you will walk again without assistance. And without it, awesome, I did it. But I had this cool lip going on, right? This pimp walk I had. It's like, keep it. No, so my phrase changed to you will walk again without assistance, without the pimp walk. Optional. Cool. So I made that conscious decision, the same one I have to make today, to keep my left foot turned in, not have my hip out, walk normal, every single day, constant battle. And I was walking again. And I thought, wow, I'm doing these things, trying to get more involved, blah, blah, military member, by the way. They did all this, still in the military, trying to fight to stay in. And I thought, what else could I do? A friend was getting into fitness. I said, I want some of that, let me get into fitness. So I got into it, pushing the body beyond what I was capable of, walking. I pushed it so hard, I was like, I want to be into bodybuilding and get in magazines and sponsored and all that. And I did. I was bodybuilding.com sponsored on their homepage for a year. In their magazines, muscle and fitness, all that fun stuff. Then again, I started to focus on me factor. Right, my story's out there, it's been in their magazines, but I started to educate myself a little more. I said, you know, what could I do for other people? The Air Force was gracious enough to give me the training, or pay for it, to get me certified as a personal trainer. So I started doing that. Every time I hear somebody with an injury, I'm like, hey, I'd love to work with you. And I've never asked for anything in return. Not a pizza, which would be cool. Nothing of value, no money whatsoever. But I have asked two things of those people every time I've ever worked with anybody who says, hey, can you write me a plan? Can you write me? Usually the plan is be consistent, right? But then if you can do that, come back, we'll talk. It's always never say I can't and never give up, right? Two things, pretty freaking simple, but we can all relate to giving up and saying I can't. Two pretty simple things I've asked for. So, I was able to work with a close friend of mine recently. I just want to talk briefly about them. 4 knee surgeries, right? Reconstructive. He's here today on base getting that same knee drilled for an infection after I pushed him to 300-pound deadlifts the other day. But same dude 10 years ago that couldn't lift 200 pounds. Here he is 4 knee surgeries later. Because I was there for him, he was there for me. We had a mutual agreement. Your leg's up, my leg's up. Let's do this slowly together. I'm like, let's do it. So I've been able to see what people are able to do. Be able to run again, jump, play. That being said, the resiliency part of it, right? Why didn't I give up? Somebody asked me what would I do for other people? How would it help other people? Just by simply being there. When people hear this story, they're like, dude, there is no freaking way. I'm like, I can show you the leg scars. I had 3 surgeries alone last year. I got a nerve removed from my leg. I can't feel from the knee to my toe. And in 5 days, I got a surgery to take the nerves out of the left one because the pain was too much. Nothing's working. Literally yesterday, 30 needles between my legs, 8 in my spine to test out all that fun stuff. It's a never-ending battle. but why, right? What was your why behind all of this? Why do you get out of bed every day? Some people say, I signed the dotted line, I have to, AWOL, all that fun stuff. That's not why you did it. Remember why you did it and all that. But there's going to be these hurdles. There's going to be some roadblocks. You're going to get the ability to walk stripped from your life and told, this is it. You no longer get to do whatever you plan on doing. Awesome. Every time I get a surgery, or every couple days, something else goes numb or weird, and I have to rethink how I walk. Those people that drove in this Monday morning and thought, Mondays suck, and so-and-so's gonna be there and talk too long for a meeting. Hopefully I get some good coffee. Great thoughts to have, I can relate. But I thought this Monday, wow, those new shoes that I got, do I have to lift my toe a little higher, or is it gonna drag? Am I gonna drag my heel? I have to think, is this the day that I'm not gonna be able to? After I cracked the tendons in my ankles and some fun stuff, I won't go into details, but like getting up and moving and figuring it out, like is this the day that things lock up and I can't continue? Those are the thoughts I have right now. And I'm still here, fighting with my doctor. Commander I haven't had to fight with yet. He's really cool. He's like, dude, if you want to do this, more power to you. So I fight every day, and why? Why? Because everybody in this room, whether you signed the dotted line or you're part of it, nobody ever forced you to do it, right? You said, I do. So on behalf of me and everybody else here, I can say thank you for doing it. Somebody picked me up when I needed it. I didn't ask for it, I refused it, I refused the help. But it was so much easier, and it literally changed my physical way of doing things because of one question, right? Power of attraction. You change your mindset, you can literally change and alter the reality around you. I did. Looking back, that was a dark time. So, lesson here. Never say you can't. In between the lines, don't let others tell you you can't. And never, ever give up. Cool? Thank you for hearing my story.
Tech Sergeant McEwen. I mean, they wrap it up so eloquently. I don't even have to say anything because they already know how powerful their stories are and how it relates to why we're here, what we're doing with resiliency. But I mean, everybody has their story. If I didn't know his story, I would never even know, right? Because of his attitude and everything, it's just so powerful. So thank you so much for sharing your story. Next up, we have Master Sergeant Chris Jakimic, or I call you Jakimic. It's Jakimic. It's Jakimic in Polish, right? And then from the 58th Rescue Squadron, so please, thank you very much.
Hey, thanks, Sergeant Holland. I truly appreciate it. And I was that was my director of operations, and I invited him out here to Storytellers to hear my story today. Guaranteed, he'll be all right. So if you heard the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise, of course not. No, you didn't. A Jedi wouldn't tell that story to you. I'm just kidding. We're not going to talk about Jedis and Sith today. We may actually. If you know me, we may talk about them a little bit. But today I'm going to give you my journey on becoming a first sergeant. And it starts a long time ago in a dairy state far, far away. Chris Jackman, episode 1990. It's Racine, Wisconsin, a little suburb town south of Milwaukee, wedged between Milwaukee and Chicago. In 1986, my parents had divorced, and we went about our separate ways. And I would have visitation with my mother, and then full-time custody with my father. The cool thing was, in about 1989, they met new significant others. I had the best of both worlds. I had 2 dads and 2 moms, and multiple sets of grandparents. What was I doing in 1990 with, I have a younger brother too, growing up in Wisconsin? 1990. I was dancing Vanilla Ice, wearing my pants backwards like crisscross, watching the Power Rangers and He-Man, getting to see legends on the ball field in Milwaukee named Paul Mahler and Robin Yount play baseball. 90 miles to the south in Chicago, there's a man with number 2 and 3 on the back of his jersey, changing the city and becoming the Michael Jordan that we know today. So we're sort of a normal childhood. We would go there, it was great. I got to spend a lot of time with my mom. Every Wednesday night, she would have custody of us. And then every other weekend, we'd get to see her and spend time with her down there in Racine. Come about 89, my father would move us up to a smaller town that's, Muskego, that really is only known because Brett Favre's brother owned the bar there. So we had that, and this would constantly go on. This was my life, it was normal. My mom would come to the baseball games, would drive 30 minutes to make that sacrifice. Come up there and everything too. We'd spend time. Stepfather was great. My stepmother was awesome as well too, and she still is to this day. Things started to change a little bit. It's the summer of 1990. Well, we're there spending time with my mother, my brother and I in the house in Racine, Wisconsin. And I wake up one morning to have breakfast, eating, I don't know, probably Lucky Charms or Frosted Flakes. Go downstairs, and I notice my mom has a black eye. Like, okay, well, that's curious. Being 10 years old at the time, really don't kind of fathom what's going on. Mom, what happened? Oh, I fell down the stairs. Okay, I'm like, well, I walk weird. My brother walks weird. We're Polish. We probably tripped down the stairs and fell. Believable story. Okay, it goes on like that too. All right, go back to my father's, no issues, nothing back there. Next time we go down there. Next Saturday morning we have breakfast. It happens again. I'm like, Mom, what's going on? Fell down the stairs again. Okay. Being the naive 10-year-old we were, and my brother being 8 at the time, we believed this story. This is what was happening. Went back and we would go again to the visitation cycle. What happened? She'd be healing up on the Wednesday, we would see her. And then the next Saturday that she picked us up, I remember the car ride down. It's about a half-hour drive, and she's like, "We're not going to your stepfather's house. We're going somewhere else." What I didn't know is where we were going was the battered women's shelter in Racine, Wisconsin. My mom was being physically abused by my stepfather, pretty seriously, fist fights and everything like that. So we ended up there. That was our weekend. I didn't think anything of it again too. I'm a 10-year-old. There's a bunch of kids and families and everything everywhere. It was chaotic. It was a house just full of people of all races and colors and everything too. It was just this melting pot and a little bit of chaos. Cooking family-style meals and everything like that. That would become my normalcy for my childhood. This sort of polarity or duality, as I call it, where I would spend time with my mother, my brother and I would spend time with my mother in a battered women's shelter, and then I would go back home to my father in a normal, Midwest, middle-class household, going through school, being successful, playing sports and everything. Thought nothing of it. We were eventually saved. Luckily, fate, and I believe in spirituality a lot too, there's just this fate designed by a Franciscan nun in the city of Racine, Wisconsin, out of the diocese. Her name is Sister Evelyn Lins. God bless her soul, she's still alive to this day. But in 1990, she had developed a concept within the city of Racine, Wisconsin, and the diocese bought an old elementary school in the downtown sector and turned it into a place called Bethany Apartments. Her vision was to provide a safe shelter for women and children of domestic violence in the city and in the county. We would end up being the third residents of this facility. We got that lucky. We were the test pilots. That's where my mother would live for the next 2.5 years. That was home to me for the next 2.5 years. The abuse was so bad it caused my mother to stop working and actually get on Medicare and Medicaid. She could no longer hold down a job. We would go to the food pantries and the food shelters, and that's how we would eat there. And then I would return with my father and my stepmother to a normal, Midwestern, middle-class family. Eventually, it would come to where there was times where my mother couldn't pick us up for visitation. My grandparents would call my father ahead and say, "Hey, Lynn can't pick up the kids today. She's sick. She's in the hospital." Okay, that's fine. People get sick. We kind of have that happen to us in our life. it would happen several weekends. And then there was a 2-week period where we had visitation in the summer where it would happen again. Lynn's in the hospital again. She can't come and pick up the kids. Eventually, it would come to a point where my mother would move out of there, and she would move back in with her parents, my grandparents, in the suburbs of Chicago, Illinois. So I made visitation a little bit more challenging. But she was still making up to my track meets and all this other stuff that was going through high school. I eventually joined the Air Force in September of 1999. We graduate basic military training on the 5th of November that year as well, too. My mother, like every good parent does, that's a big moment in your life. That's a life-changing event for your child. Flew down there to Lackland Air Force Base with my family and was there for my graduation. She was proud of her son, as most parents are at that moment. I go through that, graduate security forces technical training at good old Camp Bullis, Texas, and Lackland Air Force Base. And I'm talking to my MTL at the time. I'm like, where am I going? Give me the bad news. Son, you're the luckiest airman in the Air Force. You're going to Las Vegas, Nevada. So I would arrive out here in February of 2000, the first of 3 occasions that I would be stationed here at Nellis Air Force Base as a defender when there was PL-1 resources up in Area 2. We wore the cool DC blues at the time. We were the cool guys on the base, which was the same, yeah. But we go there, and I was, getting recognized early on, getting to do some cool stuff. They let me, as a young A1C, qualify in the Mark 19 grenade launcher. That's like the Binford model of the M203, where you can fire 325 grenades a minute. I felt like awesome, like at that point. Got that qualification. I was getting geared up because I had a great mentor at the time. He was pushing me to go to pre-ranger and then the ranger school. Kind of things. I'm like, yeah, all right. Hooah, hooah, let's do this. I'd eventually deploy. The dream of every young airman. Let me get trained up so I can deploy. In November of 2000, we go down range and deploy the 322nd Expeditionary Security Forces Squadron in Al Jaber Air Base, Kuwait. Great place. Had a wonderful time there. Again, the success continued. I was a great airman. They were putting me in for awards. It was the first time I won a military award. They put me on some special posts. I got to do some unique convoys for the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff at the time, and I was the nominee for the entire installation to go up because it was the 10th anniversary of the liberation of Kuwait. So me, shoulder to shoulder against giants that we see through history, Norman Schwarzkopf, George Bush, Colin Powell, Margaret Thatcher, John Major, me, a young A1C, standing next to these giants in history that we all know well. And have that opportunity. If you continue success to go there, typical deployment, most of the airmen in the room may not remember actually, using the corded phone to make a call. You call them back to the base operator because you get one 15-minute phone call a week. I was very thankful for that. You call, you dial in, you have your PIN number, everything. Email, what the heck was email to a security forces defender in the year 2000? Get back on post, airman, you don't even belong at a computer. So that's what it was. I would call my parents routinely. It would come to the March time frame. We're getting ready to rip out of there, going home, getting excited. Had an assignment down to the Hua 820th Security Forces Group at Moody Air Force Base, Georgia. Was really looking forward to it. You're gonna get to go to all the cool schools and everything. All right, living it up. It was that week. I'm having a phone conversation with my mother like I would do every week. We split it every other week. Call my dad, call my mom. I remember the phone conversation quite vividly. My mother was describing some things that were going on with her. She wasn't feeling quite well over it. She was dizzy. She'd just been diagnosed with vertigo and everything like that too. She was excited that I was getting to come home and I was getting to take a trip out to the Chicagoland area to see her in a few weeks. And then the phone suddenly cuts off. Like it does sometimes in these deployments, this comm just kind of goes out, especially in those times. The systems weren't reliable. Be several days later, typical barracks, you're sitting there, and I'm sleeping, but something wakes me out of a dead sleep. You ever have that feeling when you're just woken up in the middle of the night and you feel something's wrong? That was the spidey sense I had. It was like, Kenobi telling me that there was a great disturbance in the force. It would be the next morning, I would get in there. I was pretty well known on the small deployment deployment installation at the time. The group commander would come up to me that morning and be like, Airman Jack, how are you doing today? Doing wonderful. I'm looking forward to getting out here. This has been a great deployment. You know, really learned a lot as an airman. All right, good. When's the last time you talked to your family? And have you seen your first sergeant yet this morning? And we know as a young airman, there's two things you're going to see when somebody says, have you seen your first sergeant this morning? Either something's pretty good or you're in trouble. So I had those emotions going through my head. What does this mean? What does these words mean? Yes, sir. No, sir, I haven't seen him yet. I'm going to finish my breakfast and I'm going to go over there. Now, for the defenders in the room, it was such an urgent issue that they're like, well, you need to not go to guard mount this morning. Okay. So I knew something was up. I get in the first sergeant's office. Master Sergeant Robert Ellis, very vividly. Kind of about my height. Sat me down in his office, walked there, it's right near the B-Doc or the CSC as we called it back then. Sit in, common questions, icebreaker. How you doing? Are you enjoying your deployment? Wonderful, wonderful. Looking forward to get out of here, all the small talk. When's the last time you talked to your family? Oh, it's Tuesday. I talked to my mother on the phone and then it cut out. Lord Jack, I got the worst news that ever I can deliver to you. Your mother passed away suddenly last night. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what to believe at the time. Just emotions were running through. As a 20-year-old, you should not be hearing this information from a first sergeant in a deployed environment. It radically changed my world at that point. The reaction was just all over the place. I didn't believe it. So I picked up that phone. I'm like, can somebody get me the number to the Great Lakes Naval Base there in Illinois? Because that's the closest place to call my grandparents. And I had memorized their phone number like all good kids did back at the time. Called them, talked to my grandpa on the phone. He's like, yeah, this is real. We need to get you home. Okay. So there I sit on Al Jaber for about the next 10 hours, just staring at the sun, thinking about what happened, thinking about my life unraveling before me. Sure does phenomenal things, gets me on the next rotated out of there, gets me all the orders I need and everything like that too, ships me off. They do a collective fundraiser so I can get some clothes once I get somewhere in Conus because we didn't have a PX at the base back then. Would fly in typical route, 23 and a half hours of flying back to the States. Land in Baltimore, go to the AMC terminal. The young staff sergeant working the desk was like, we can't get you to Chicago. You're not booked all the way through. But I got my emergency leave. Luckily, I was traveling because some other teammates and a senior NCO from the same unit I was deployed with was on the same flight. He's like, no, you're getting this airman back to Chicago. So having the power there was able to get me back. Do the emergency leave, spend the next 14 days out there burying my mom. My grandfather at the time reveals to me that he's got terminal stomach cancer as well too. At my mother's funeral. Great. 14 days go by, get back here. Leadership breaks down a little bit. I'll check out if I'm okay. I get checked back in. I get back on post within 2 weeks of putting my mom on the ground. Then I'm 203 grenade launcher guard PL1 resources up in area 2 here. Without even being talked to on how you're doing. They ask, you okay to take your CDC end of course examination? Sure, why not? Fail it. Duh, that wasn't where my focus was at the time. And eventually I'm on post about a week after that and I just get sick of it. I throw the weapon out of the window of the truck because I'm so fed up. I'm like, you gotta get this weapon away from me. I don't need this. I'm not in the right mindset. I can't take care of myself right now. How can I be expected to take care of protecting this? Go through the trials and tribulations process, pull me off, everything like that too. My grandfather would pass away 2 weeks, in 2 months to the day after my mother passed away. And my life begins completely spiraling out of control at this point. There's no adage out there. One of the chiefs in the Air Force, Chief CZ, says if you want to fly with the eagles, you can't hang out with the turkeys. I found a lot of turkeys when I was going through this and hung out with a lot of them, unfortunately. Some things led to another. I was in this state, this funk, where I didn't know how to cope with what I was doing. Well, alcohol, it's easy, it's free, it's available. So I go with this group of friends down to Buffalo, the nice famous Buffalo Wild Wings on Craig and there's Commerce right there, whatever. We're there having a good time, they're throwing beers down my throat. Just happened to walk in the parking lot. And I didn't know this guy, I had barely met him. But lo and behold, as we're walking out, North Las Vegas police rolls up right in the parking lot. This individual starts yelling at the police, saying he wants to fight them, throw a grenade at them too. Well, guilt by association, I'm standing right next to him. I get cuffed and I get sent to the North Las Vegas City Jail for 3 days. For underage drinking. It was a choice that I made. It was a very bad choice. And I would later feel the repercussions from that. I would come back, and this would be the first interaction I would have with Master Sergeant Vernon Bell, the additional duty first sergeant for the Triple S Squadron at the time. Office always smelled like cigarettes. Back then, I was like, he must have smoked like 7 packs a day. But lo and behold, is the care he had for me, is the Air Force would do the right thing and hold me accountable for my choices and my actions. But he would take care of me as an airman, get me the help that I needed, get me into the right courses that I needed, do the right things to keep Airmen jacketing in the United States Air Force, because they saw something in me. But little did I know, September 2001 would be one of the hardest career cruxes I ever had. Some of us served on that day, some of us didn't. Most of us didn't. We're here because of that event. I'm driving my motorcycle into work that morning. I'm listening to Howard Stern, and he talks about the plane hitting the tower in New York City. We get into guard mount that day, and that's when things become real because the second tower had just been hit and it was about to fall. You know, September 11, 2001. I wasn't able to be armed up because of things I was going on. They did the right thing and de-armed me. And that's because of the choices I made along with that too. The underage drinking, that was a choice. That wasn't me going out and, you know, hey, I need to do this. That was a bad choice. And I felt instant regret after that event. I couldn't be on post protecting this nation with my brothers and sisters because I made a choice. And I had significant events happen to me in my life that caused me to make that bad choice. I wouldn't be able to deploy with the defenders downrange to go to Afghanistan or wherever the nation needed us to go because of a choice. But another member made a choice, Master Sergeant Vernon Bell, to believe in then Airman Jackman. He kept me, decided I was good enough to retrain, didn't get kicked out of the Air Force. So I learned these lessons over time. The story doesn't get any easier. At the time, it would take me 3.5 years to truly get help for my mother and my grandfather's passing. You know, those you love the most, it hurts the most, and it takes the longest to come back from. You know, telling this after Mother's Day is tough too. That's a difficult time in my life. I would go through this. My grandmother would still be alive. 2006, I would get ready to PCS Korea, and she would finally reveal to me how my mom passed and why my mom was in the hospital. It was the evils of manic depressive and bipolar disorder. My mom ended up passing from lithium toxicity because the medicine at the time was not good enough to understand. We didn't have quite the capabilities that we have today with some of that. So the only thing we knew how to treat this with at the time was lithium and changing around. Unfortunately, she had been doing it for 10 plus years. That had developed a toxicity in your body, which caused the vertigo, which caused her heart to stop to lose her life. My grandmother had the same condition and would end up committing suicide just before I left for Korea in 2006. I get the help I need. I'd recover. Meet the lovely lady in Germany that would help bring me forward. Really set my trajectory. Instead of being in post-traumatic stress, as these events caused me to come through post-traumatic growth and become stronger throughout the years. I would return to Nellis Air Force Base in September 2010, get some great opportunities, and then some knocked on the door, to where eventually I worked for the 99th Air Base Wing Command Chief. And a pleasure having, Yodas as my mentor every day. Going there. And eventually it'd be Chief Master Sergeant Stephen Cleveland, who would be like, Jack, what do you want to do with your life when you're done here in the office? You've done awesome for me, so let's set your journey. Chief, I want to be a first sergeant. I owe a debt of gratitude to the Air Force. I had Master Sergeant Robert Ellis and Master Sergeant Vernon Bell take care of me. I owe a debt to the Air Force. Because they took care of me, it's my turn to take care of others. Wish granted. October 2014, I'll go to the First Sergeant Academy. I would put the diamond on. But I wouldn't become a First Sergeant yet. You get the diamond on, and my brothers and sisters, First Sergeants here, as you get that on, it's a special occasion, it's great, but you don't truly become a First Sergeant at that moment. I would have a very challenging first assignment at 57 AMXS fight for 8 enemies. It wouldn't be the NJP actions or the administrative stuff or filling out paperwork for people to go to ALS that would rattle me. Sure, the second month I was there, we had an airman get 2 DUIs in a matter of 1 week. Fathom that. But when I became a first sergeant is when I met a young airman who was going through stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. He was fighting a battle for his own life. Just the actions that I was able to do to stand beside him and take that journey and say, you can do this. You can fight this. Positive messaging to get over it. I've been in a similar situation. I'm not fighting for my life, but I have fought for something. Bringing him back would be a 2-year journey. He would overcome Hodgkin's lymphoma twice. Twice. There's some of the magic and wizardry that we get to do as first sergeants and the strings that we can pull. Just by talking to the wonderful individuals in the oncology section here at Nellis Air Force Base, I was able to work with one of the docs there, and we were able to get him out to Colorado Springs so he could go through chemotherapy with his father and his mother at his side. That is when I became a first sergeant. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank people in the audience today. You know, we talk about spiritual resiliency in our board of directors. I've got a lot of people in my board of directors here. Men and women in the 58th Rescue Squadron that I get up and they give me hope, meaning, and purpose every day, because if I take care of them, they can run their mission of these things we do so others may live. My brother and sister first sergeants, hearing some of the things that I've gone through in my life, you can see why I do what I do, and you are truly a board of directors for me, and I think I'm the same for some of you. Senior Master Michael Culver, I've known him since 2010. We've been close. I know his daughter quite well. I'm glad we've been on this journey together. The resiliency team as well too. Team Nellis, Team Creech. Last but not least, my wife Jen. She's been awesome this entire time. If you could think of any cartoon, it would be Pinky and the Brain. She's Pinky. She would say she's the brawn of the operations. She's active duty ammo up in area too. She calls me the brain of the operations. You know, married me to have smart babies. And she's pretty cool in herself. I'm very thankful that she let me name our daughter after my mother and our son after Darth Vader. That's my story, and I'm proud to share it with you.
Oh my goodness, I'm so moved. Thank you, Sergeant Jack so much. Wow. So, I'm gonna come down here because I'm getting a little closer. So, what we've talked about today are so many different moving stories, and every single person has their story. Every single one of you have your story. What we have to recognize is they all witness all these different ways that we cope and how we deal with our resilience. And what I would like to mention is that if you ever see yourself or anyone in this kind of condition, any kind of issues or traumatic events, to get out and reach out. Just reach out for help. It could be your person next to you, your person. It could be your first sergeant. It could be somebody in the medical profession. But what we're just trying to get to is to understand that you're not alone, that we go through this with each other. And if you understand that your story can make someone else more inspired and as all of you have done, which I would really like to applaud each and every one of you really quickly. So with that, I would just like to say thank you, and I would like to close it up, sir, with Colonel Maury, if you'd like to come up, please.
All right, who here, this is your first Storytellers? Yeah, good portion of you. So those of you who have heard me speak before about this, I said you'll never be the same again. You won't walk out this door the way you walked in. And I think all of you who are raising your hand for the first time would agree with me with that. So share that message with me. We have an order of magnitude more people here this time, and so I think the story's getting out because some of you here have been here like me. So thanks for that. Let's bring more next time because these stories are too important, they're too powerful. And I'll just share with you a couple of things. One is, the last time I was at the Storyteller here, the biggest thing I took away was maybe that whole me thing that I think McEwen maybe was talking about. It was, wow, the next time that I got a problem, in fact, why don't you keep two up, the next time I got a problem, it ain't gonna be tails in comparison, right? The next time that I have a fight with my 15-year-old daughter and I'm worried about, her grades or something, I'll say, well, it pales in comparison, right? The next time I got problems with the family and we're not getting along great, I'll say it pales in comparison. The next time that I go on a run and I'm hurting and I wake up the next morning and I'm sore, I'll go pales in comparison to trying to, you break free your tendons every day morning. That's pretty amazing. The next time that my mom's sick or hurt and she's had a couple surgeries and I'm feeling down about that, I'll think about, what a pales in comparison to actually losing a mom to something as terrible as lithium. Toxicity, but I think this time what I take away is the second half of these stories, is the people who helped other people. It's the dad who zorched out to LA and wouldn't leave his mother's side. It's taking care of people. It's Paris who who stood and took things I can't even imagine, so his sister wouldn't have to. It's the pizza guy who brought over the pizza and asked the question, right? And it's the physical therapy plans that you do about don't quit and don't let anybody tell you can't. And it's the drive to become a first sergeant, and it's Master Sergeant Hall, right? Mark, what was his name?
Robert Ellis.
And Vernon Bell, and Master Sergeant Vernon Bell. It's those folks who brought some of these people through, or that these people brought through to the next level. And so my charge to you today is to go out, and similar to what you said, is go out and find those people. Find the person who's hurt and maybe hiding it. Find the person who's not getting around so well, maybe ain't getting the help or doesn't have the motivation to say, no, doc, this is what I'm doing. Find those people and be that person who gets in the help. So thank you all for being here. Thanks to you all for sharing your stories with us. I couldn't imagine doing it. You're a braver person than I, all of you, and I got permanent goosebumps. I do right now. So thank you all. It's kind of hard. I'm not being real graceful with this here, but that's all right. Yep. Okay, that's all I have. Let's give one more round of applause.
Thank you again so much. Thanks to my Storytellers. It was amazing. I would also like to thank, just in overall, of course, the IDS, the Community Support Office, Miss Cindy Duffy, thank you, Airmen Cordova, would you go? I don't know where you are. And all the seriously, thank you for all the Storytellers committee members that came out to help us get this together. It doesn't come together in one day, so we do like to say thank you. We're also going to serve some food that was brought on by the chaplain. And we'd like to say thank you also for the chaplain corps for helping us out with this event. So please stick around. You can come and talk to the storytellers, have some food, and let's talk. Okay? Thank you.